Sup, y'all? Welcome to Saved by the Code, where I talk about all things cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. If you are a new listener, welcome to the channel. I deeply, deeply appreciate you. And if you are a return listener, I appreciate you just as much. Alright, enough of that. Let's just get going here. I got the juice for you today, as usual. When have I not had the juice for you? I believe that is a hard never. All right, enough of that mumbo jumbo stuff. Let's get on going with this joke of an article to start things off here. And just by the title of it, you can see why it's an absolute joke. The title of this article, by CBS News, by the way, just stellar source of information for investors in Bitcoin. This title is "Bitcoin is Falling. Should you invest in gold now?" If that's just so funny. Apparently, according to this person, when Bitcoin falls, if you had purchased Bitcoin and it has fallen, you should sell and buy gold. So, buy high, sell low, buy gold. That is the strategy according to this CBS News article. It's just scary that this is how the majority of investors think, and this massive fall in Bitcoin this week from $48,000 to $40,000 is, oh, sell it now, buy gold, get out, save your capital, it's over. Bitcoin's done. I mean, the ETF just got passed, the halving's coming up. I mean, why would you be in Bitcoin right now? It's just buy gold and make 3% this year. It's just this article is so funny, and let's see this. What was something? Oh, here. This plunge in Bitcoin's price has left investors grappling with uncertainties. In turn, some investors may be reevaluating their strategies, considering alternative assets like gold that may provide a more stable haven instead. But is gold actually a good alternative to Bitcoin? I don't hate gold. I don't. I say that all the freaking time. Gold is pretty sweet. It's a very useful metal. It's gold. It's like yellow. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, it's just so unexciting. Like, if you have like a gold podcast, like, what do you talk about? Like, today the color of gold is gold. Hasn't changed since the dawn of man, dawn of time. It has been gold since gold was discovered. And it's just like, what do you talk about? Like, I can't even think of something like exciting to talk about in the gold world. And that alone should just be like, okay, Bitcoin's pretty cool. Here's a part of this article. Bitcoin is falling. With the price of Bitcoin falling, it could make sense to consider investing in gold instead. The reasons being the historic stability of gold, so you can't make any money on it. The inverse relationship with equities, gold's ability to hedge inflation. The tangible asset appeal. This is my favorite one. Unlike Bitcoin, which exists purely in digital form, gold is a tangible asset. Physical gold provides investors with a tangible asset that they can hold. So if you can touch it and hold it, you should invest in it. If you can't, you should be wary. I don't know what year this person thinks we're living in. It isn't 1973 anymore. It is the year 2024. That happened 20 days ago. And there's a lot of intangible things that have a lot of value. But apparently, like I said, this is just how the majority of people think, and it's so unfortunate. Like, I just really can't grasp it. Like, price go up, I buy. Price go down, I sell, buy gold. And it's unfortunate because, as well, because these, CBS or CNN will have these experts on their show, and they'll be like, Bitcoin is falling. Should you buy gold? Coming up next. And they'll have their expert on the show that'll be like, well, John, Bitcoin has really tumbled this week, and, a lot of people are having doubts as to whether it'll go up again. And, it should just go straight up. It should just go straight to $4 billion a coin if it goes down at all. I mean, this is just insane. I can't believe it's down. So, the strategy here is to buy high, sell low, buy that gold. And if Bitcoin goes back up, you sell your gold and you buy Bitcoin. And that's worked for me over the years. And it's just so crazy that this is like how most people think and invest. Buy high, sell low strategy. Thank you, John, for coming on the show. I'm going to sell all my Bitcoin now and buy gold and make no money. In fact, I'm going to lose money. It's very sad. These are the articles that make the news, and people follow and go, oh wow, such good advice, that's what I'm gonna do because he's an expert. Just be wary. Just use logic. Buy low, sell high. Just because something's falling in price does not mean that it's over and that everybody's selling. And there's a lot of things that go behind this. Everybody thought the ETF Bitcoin would be $400,000 in 5 days. It's not how the world works. And in fact, I wouldn't want that because, that'll be great, but it's just not reality. That's not what's going to happen. It'll get there eventually, but it's going to be a steady rise, more organic. But this stuff is just scary. All right, on to the next great story for you. More juice for you coming from Kathy Wood. This bad... Not going to say that. This cool girl. She is awesome. She loves Bitcoin. The CEO of ARK Invest, some Wall Street firm or something. She loves Bitcoin. I would propose to her if I could. And she is great. She posted this on Twitter, and it is just perfect. And Elon Musk commented on it, which was pretty cool. She posted on Twitter, on X, excuse me. Bitcoin is backed by the largest computer network in the world, a network orders of magnitude larger than the combined size of the clouds that Amazon, Google, and Microsoft have built over the last 15 to 20 years, of which always crash, get hacked, aren't working for a period of hours because they're centralized. That's how centralized servers work, because there's one location where all the activity is happening. If something happens there, it gets shut down. With Bitcoin, that's happening all day, every day. But it's decentralized, so it's just seamless. It's like as if nothing happened, A massive mining operation could shut down. Multiple could. But that's the power of a decentralized network. It just doesn't stop operating. And it never has stopped operating since its inception in 2009. And these stats are pretty mind-blowing here. It's at an all-time high hash rate again. It's just... I remember looking at this chart in 2017 being like, wow, it's so much computer power behind it. And now 2017 is like a flat line. And if you're looking at the screen, it is just straight up. And it's measured in hashes per second. And it's at an all-time high right now. We're at over 500 exahashes per second. And just to explain how massive that number is, and just, it's the largest computer network on the planet. And this guy says To highlight the enormity of this number, 500 exahashes per second. For every star in our galaxy, the Bitcoin network is calculating 5 billion computations per second. It would take 2,000 years for the entire global population, each performing 1 hash per second, to match the Bitcoin network's hash rate. The Bitcoin network performs 60 times more hashes per second than there are grains of sand on Earth. By number of raw operations per second, Bitcoin is 500 times more performant than the world's most powerful supercomputer. It is astounding how far Bitcoin has come, where it is today. And if you for a second think the Bitcoin's just going to shut down and go to zero, just look at this. Like, this is the backbone of Bitcoin, the decentralized network of miners geographically separated all around the world, securing the network. And the security, the higher the hashes per second is, the more secure the network is. And it just it literally keeps hitting all-time highs, like since mid-2021. I think it took a big dip there because of the China ban or whatever, and miners left China and shut down a lot of their machines, so there's a big dip there. But that shows the power of a decentralized network as well. Bitcoin's network is that they just move. You can't, like, China's like, no more mining. We're China. And they were just like, F you, bro. We go to US. And boom, there it goes. Straight up since mid-2021. And I don't see it stopping. Miners are making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money. And Elon Musk commented on this and said, wow. Whatever that means. Who cares? I mean, he's cool, whatever, but it is pretty cool. Hey, Elon Musk commented. So yeah, it's really great. This is the facts that you got to look at. The health of the Bitcoin network is undeniable. Like, these people that are like, it's backed by nothing. Nothing's backing Bitcoin. I can't touch it. It's backed by nothing. You forgot about the largest decentralized computing network in the entire world. You forgot about that part. That's kind of what it's backed by. I mean, no big deal or anything. It's just, I guess that doesn't... Yeah, you're right. It's backed by nothing. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, that is wild. 500 exahashes per second. For every star in the galaxy, the Bitcoin network is calculating 5 billion computations per second. You can't even think of that number. It's so big. So Bitcoin is Bitcoining more than it ever has Bitcoined. You go. The coin of bits. All right. Next story here. We got some Ethereum ETF stuff going on. And apparently Fidelity filed for an Ethereum ETF. And it's going to happen. It will. What's the next logical one? Ethereum, not Dogecoin. There isn't going to be a Shiba Inu ETF next. However, I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing surprises me anymore. If the SEC just went, we're going to approve a Dogecoin ETF now after Bitcoin. That would be hilarious. Gary Gensler just trolls everyone. Ha, gotcha. The SEC decided to delay its decision on a Fidelity Ethereum ETF. Probably no reason to delay it, but it's just because they're the SEC. The SEC finds it appropriate to designate a longer period within which to take action on the proposed rule change. So there's sufficient time to consider the proposed rule. Thanks, SEC. It is pretty cool that they approved all those ETFs. Just how it happened is just so typical of life. You know, their X account got hacked. And it said, oh, Bitcoin ETFs are approved. And all these fake news stories came out. And everyone was like, what the heck? And it didn't actually get approved. And then the next day, they just approve them all. Like, you can't make it up. Life is just so funny. We literally live in a cartoon. You don't even need to be a creative cartoon writer. You just every day wake up, go like, oh, I don't even need to come up with anything. I can just write about real life. There's your cartoon. Like, we live in a joke of reality. It's just funny. You just gotta laugh at it. I used to get pretty mad at things I couldn't control. Now it's pretty funny. It's just a cosmic joke. Yeah, so Fidelity's already making moves to get an Ethereum ETF approved, and you better believe BlackRock's gonna be wanting to get in the front of the line there as well, and I'm sure they will. BlackRock has the most inflows for the Bitcoin ETF. There's been tons of buying of Bitcoin going on, by the way, by these ETF issuers. And like I mentioned in the last video, the reason the price isn't moving is because they do these things on over-the-counter trades, which means you just buy it in bulk. You buy 10,000 Bitcoin at one price instead of going on an exchange and dealing with slippage and buying it at like a laddering price up. You buy it at different prices going up. You just buy it in bulk at one price. That's what an over-the-counter trade is. However, that liquidity is drying up fast. There is not infinite Bitcoin there. And when it dries up, you are forced to go to the regular market, and it's going to happen. It just, right now, I think the reason why prices are down is because this whole grayscale thing, which I'll get to in a minute. Apparently a bunch of people are, I'll get to that in a second. Whatever, how about we do it now? Grayscales, the reason, a big reason people believe why prices have been going down, in combination with the over-the-counter, which is fine. I mean, it's great. The buying of Bitcoin, there's a lot going on. But the falling of prices is here. Heavy outflows and the decline in Bitcoin's price are driving down the value of GBTC's Grayscale Bitcoin's portfolio despite solid demand for other Bitcoin ETFs. It says here, outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust have intensified. Its first areas of trading as a spot Bitcoin exchange fund ETF contributed to nearly a $5 billion decline in assets under management. Price decline also explains the drop in AUM. Bitcoin's market value has a direct impact on the value of the fund. Yeah, so a lot of this is stemming from Grayscale. And their fees are very high relative. The ETF fee on Grayscale is 1.5%, while other ETFs have fees as low as 0.2%, plus 6 months of free investing. So no one wants Grayscale anymore. But BlackRock's was a significant portion of this increase attributed to BlackRock's ETF, which acquired 8,700 Bitcoin. Since the inception, 9 ETFs have collectively purchased 68,500 Bitcoin. Crazy. Bitcoin is mainstream. Like, Bitcoin's mainstream. Like, grandma's buying Bitcoin. Grandpa's buying Bitcoin. Jimmy down the street, who, was never into Bitcoin and doesn't like it because he can't touch it. Oh, maybe I should buy some. That's what's going through people's heads. And there's still going to be those people that you'll never convince. But, hey, dude, when are you going to just give in and admit you're wrong? It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's fine. There's so many people that are like, they don't want to admit they're wrong. It's all right. You're human. You're very good at being wrong, actually. I don't know if anybody noticed, but that's what we do best. Is be wrong. All right. So yeah, outflows from Grayscale, people selling, apparently contributing to this price decline. Next story here, Ego Death Capital to raise $100 million to invest in the Bitcoin ecosystem. That's huge. Like, I just wanted to bring this story up because look at how much money is going into this industry. There's capital being raised. The ETFs, the buying by all these ETF issuers, the halving coming up. The economic environment for Bitcoin to thrive couldn't be more perfect with all the money printing and craziness that's happened over the past couple years. An asset that has a limited supply that can't be devalued into oblivion, not controlled by any centralized authority. How you couldn't think that has value, I just will never understand. But yeah, they're raising $100 million initiative to further accelerate the growth of the Bitcoin ecosystem by supporting innovative businesses in the space. So there's capital being raised to invest in this is a healthy industry, and the growth potential. Bitcoin's not even at, it's like $800 billion asset. Relatively speaking, that's pretty small. And I easily see Bitcoin reaching a $10 trillion market cap in the coming years, which is the market cap of gold, which Bitcoin is better at being gold than gold is. And once it reaches those numbers, it will become a lot more stable. That's how numbers work. That's how these things work. You don't go from 0 to 10 trillion without volatility. You don't need to be an expert to know that. Yeah, so just investment in the space, ETFs being issued, the limited supply, the economic environment for Bitcoin to thrive. It couldn't be going better, in my humble opinion. And I know these things. I'm an expert. Just kidding. The $100 million fund hopes to represent a significant step toward fostering innovation and value creation within the burgeoning Bitcoin ecosystem. Yeah, really, I don't see this industry going anywhere but up and growing. It just continues to. If you just really zoom out, if you're concerned about the price, you just zoom out. We'll go to a price chart of Bitcoin. If you just zoom out and you don't look at the short term, you go, wow, okay, we're in an uptrend. It's just going up. And there's gonna be drops. It's okay. It doesn't mean you sell your Bitcoin and you buy freaking gold. Sell now, it's going down. And they'll try to tell you that. And it just makes no sense, but unfortunately many people will listen to that. It's so wild. If you look at a price chart of Bitcoin, I remember looking at the 2017, when the big bull run happened and went up to $20,000 in 2017, 2018. I remember being like, wow, look at how big that mountain is. It looks like a massive mountain, and now it looks tiny. Whoa. And pretty soon these peaks are going to look tiny. The ones that happened in 2021 up to 70,000, those will look tiny. I mean, it is just so hot right now. Not having any Bitcoin is a risk, not financial advice. Vanguard. Gotta love Vanguard. They are restricting customer access to spot Bitcoin ETFs. I don't get it, because I think they were just in $7 trillion. Vanguard blocks clients from buying spot Bitcoin ETFs on their platform. Yeah. They are a major player in the investment management industry with over $7 trillion in assets. And they are blocking the Bitcoin ETFs. It's weird. They have no plans to offer a spot Bitcoin ETF or crypto-related products. The firm cited that the high volatility nature of Bitcoin goes against the company's goal of helping investors get real returns over the long term, which makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know. I just pulled up this chart. If you hold Bitcoin for the long term, you've made money, no matter where you bought it at in the past 5 years. Well, I take that back. Pretty much 85% of the time, maybe even more, 90% in the past 5 years, you would have made money on Bitcoin if you held it long term. There's so many buying opportunities. It was at $10,000 for such a long time in 2020, and then it was just at $16,000 last year. Like, it's volatile. We get it. That's how you make a lot of money. And Bitcoin is like so much. It's less risky than it ever has been. Like with the ETFs and the ways that you can, the on ramps and the off ramps, entering and exiting have never been easier. Storing it has never been easier, more accessible. There's more devices to store it. I disagree with these guys entirely. It's ridiculous that they would be saying this. It's just, go home, Vanguard. You're drunk. Oh, there's a cool story. Family goes all in on Bitcoin at $900. Has keys stored all around the world. That's cool. They're probably rich AF. So yeah, Vanguard just stamping their feet. Currently, we're not allowing those to be purchased as it doesn't fit with Vanguard's investment philosophy. Whatever. I mean, they're standing by what they believe in, but come on, people. If people want to buy Bitcoin, let them buy it. No, you can't buy what we don't believe in. That's fine. We'll just go elsewhere. You're just gonna miss out. Alright, so yeah, Vanguard, there's nope, not allowing it. Oh crap, I forgot about this. Should have done this while I was on the grayscale stuff. So back to the grayscale thing. Crypto bulls lose $277 million amid concerns about grayscale outflows, pointing out that GG to a 0.9% discount. This whole discount and premium for the grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Pointing out the shares flipped. So yeah, all this decline in prices is because of this grayscale stuff. And it's okay. Bitcoin's still Bitcoining. This is totally natural. And these articles will try to scare you and say, oh, so buy gold. Just, has Bitcoin changed? Are the fundamentals still there? Is it still the largest computing network in the world, allowing you to send transactions 24/7 without a centralized intermediary, inability to be censored, confiscated, immutable? Still there. So just keep that in mind. Oh, the good old U.S. government, the faithful, wonderful U.S. government to protect us all against the horrible thing that is crypto. U.S. senators to introduce bill to combat illicit use of crypto assets. We're gonna. There are bad actors in every industry, and crypto assets are no exception. But make no mistake, crypto itself is not the problem. Hey, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, Cynthia Loomis. She's cool. That's who said it. That's why. Why don't you do this for cash? Gold, art. Cool, great, but this like need to put crypto in this spotlight and never mentioning cash or gold or artwork or the things that are actually used for illegal activity, orders of magnitude more than crypto, is never mentioned. You don't see articles about that. Good old Jamie Dimon, always. I have a story about him. You just wait. Again, my boy Jamie, CEO of JP Morgan. You know, cash is king when it comes to illegal activity because it's harder to trace. Bitcoin, believe it or not, is not anonymous, and you could trace the hell out of it. Actually, law enforcement loves when criminals use Bitcoin and don't know how to obfuscate the transactions, because you can trace it all. It's all public. It's a public blockchain where you can see where everything goes. Each transaction is linked to the next, and your name isn't like posted there, like your information, but you can do things in the cyber world that allow you to pinpoint someone's IP address and this and that, and you can figure it out. With cash, you don't have that. It's harder to trace, and that's why it is king. They use things that are much more difficult to trace, and Bitcoin is definitely not it. Look at this way. Our estimate for the share of all crypto transaction volume associated with illicit activity also fell to 0.34% from 0.42%. Man, so much illegal activity going on in crypto. 0.34%? Oh my gosh. We need to stamp this problem out. Now. Now. Oh, that is so negligible. I would love to see the stats for cash. Let's see if we could find that. How many cash? The United States makes up at least $300 billion, meaning that the U.S. is responsible for 15 to 38% of the money laundered annually. 90% of money laundering crimes go undetected. With cash, what do you know? U.S. banks handled trillions of dollars in suspicious transactions. Banks are the biggest offender of money laundering. It's such a joke, as usual. A complete and total joke, and the BS that we're fed. Cryptos, terrorists, money launderers, and drug dealers use our cash in our bank because we are honest and trustworthy. Meanwhile, they are laundering money for massive criminal organizations. Get caught, pay a fine, and continue doing it. It's so absurd. Let's open this actually. 20 money laundering statistics. Approximately $300 billion is laundered through the United States each year. Worldwide, criminals launder between $800 million and $2 trillion each year. In 2020 alone, global banks were hit with $10.4 billion in fines for money laundering. Capital One was the largest American bank fine, ordered to pay $390 million, failing to report countless transactions. Money laundering schemes cost 2 to 5% of the world's total GDP. It's such a joke. This is the world we live in. Oh my gosh. Richmond, Virginia is ranked number 1 for white collar crimes at 7,500 crimes per 10,000 people. Oh my gosh. Pittsburgh, 1,329 people per 10,000. Let's go. We're almost in the top 10. Maybe next year, Pittsburgh. Oh man. Oh wait, this is cool. Crypto versus fiat currency money laundering statistics. Despite a rise in cybercrimes in 2020, criminal activity that used cryptocurrency fell by over half between 2019 and 2020. In 2019, the 0.34% in 2020. It was 2.1% in 2019. Over 99% of cryptocurrency transactions run through AML-regulated exchanges. Percentage of money laundered in the U.S. that is Bitcoin is 0.9%. Fiat currency, 99%. There you go. It's 0.9% in the US and 0.3% globally. So this whole thing around how Bitcoin and crypto is only used by... Here, wait. This is perfect. Perfect. Streamline into the next story. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, CEO, advises investors to stay away from Bitcoin. My personal advice is don't get involved. Once again, an extremely valued opinion from JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon. And here is his take, his Bitcoin investing advice. And here's a quote. He says some cool stuff here. Diving again, saying blockchain is real. It's technology. We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about it for 12 years too. And it's very small. And regarding cryptocurrencies, he said there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. If crypto has an embedded smart contract in it, and then we can use it to buy and sell real estate, move data, and they may have value. Tokenizing things that you do something with. That's cool. So he's not like totally anti-crypto. He hates Bitcoin. Not totally anti-crypto. And then there's the second type of cryptocurrency. And then there's one which does nothing. I called it a pet rock, the Bitcoin, something like that. And he stated, reiterating his previous statement that Bitcoin use cases being illicit activities. So just going off of the back what I just said, from two different sources, that 0.3% of global illicit transactions are going through Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, there are use cases. AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases. And you see it being used for maybe $50 billion, $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case. So he just blatantly lied there. Everything is people trading amongst themselves. And then he says, I defend your right to do Bitcoin. Okay. My personal advice is don't get involved, but I won't tell anyone what to do. It's a free country. Not really, but anyways. So he's calling anybody that owns Bitcoin a AML fraudster, anti-money laundering, tax avoiding, sex trafficker. That's what he's calling you. No mention of how cash is used in 99% of money laundering, or gold, which JP Morgan, the company, the bank of which Jamie Dimon is the CEO of, has been found guilty of manipulating the gold market for years. For years. Let's check out that story. JP Morgan, gold market. Manipulation. JP Morgan precious metals traders sentenced to prison. JP Morgan to pay $60 million to settle precious metals spoofing lawsuit. JP Morgan traders scammed metals markets. JP Morgan to pay $920 million for manipulating precious metals markets. You forgot to mention that, Mr. Dimon. Whoops. What slipped. When questioned about the recent involvement of big players like BlackRock and Larry Fink becoming a big believer in Bitcoin, he said, number one, I don't care, so just please stop talking about this. He says Bitcoin does nothing. Bitcoin does nothing. You heard it here, folks, from Jamie Dimon himself, CEO of JP Morgan, the manipulator of the gold market, the biggest manipulator. But we'll leave that out of the discussion there. I don't feel like reading this. We get it. New York Times still doesn't get Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. They're just the stubborn little boy in the corner who just refuses to be open-minded. No. Bitcoin, no. What? Money? Freedom money that allows a regular person to actually own something that won't be devalued into oblivion? no, we don't want that. What else is there? Can you please tell me? Bitcoin is unlike anything else on the planet. Limited supply, unconfiscatable, decentralized network, like I said, big as freaking Jupiter. I could go on, but yeah, whatever. It's just undeniable at this point. So many people have flipped, and I respect those that go, I was wrong, Bitcoin's cool. Like our boy Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, Larry Bear, the man. I don't know, I have a hard time believing that they have good intentions. But he says these great things about Bitcoin. He's like, this thing is better than gold and all this stuff, and look at them, they're actually putting their money where their mouth is, but they do want to just make money. So I'm cool with it. Let's go Bitcoin. All right, that brings us to the final segment of this show, the source of the real news, which I forgot to do in the last episode. I can't believe it. The Babylon Bee, where the real news is told. And we're just going to cover some really important stuff here at the end of the episode. Gotta end it on a funny note. You know, there's some crazy stuff that's happening out there, and you know, this Babylon Bee is a source of truth. And you know, here's a story that came out yesterday. This Sports Illustrated executive, he just doesn't know where they went wrong as he stands in front of framed cover models of obese trans swimsuit models. Where did they go wrong? I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Oh, where's another one? Ugh, I can't believe men are looking at me at the gym, says woman who went to the gym specifically so men would look at her. You know they want you to look at them. But when you do, hey, don't look at my butt. I try not to, but it's impossible for a male not to. And you do have to, like, consciously look elsewhere. But we are just monkeys, you know, men. That's who we are. We're just like, big butt. I like. You just gotta let us do our thing, you know. And there are men who are respectful, and there are men who are desperate and have a lot of trouble in that area. Just be yourself. Just be confident. Don't try too hard. That is my advice for men in this episode. There's not. Oh, this was a funny one. Gender surgeon gives patient appointment reminder for reversal surgery in 5 years. Gotta come back and get that reversal. Terrified Texans open fire on strange white stuff falling from the sky. Yeah, it's snowing in Texas. It doesn't ever. Biden approval rating at 100% amongst defense contractors. Oh, yeah. I thought they were all about peace and love and unity. Meanwhile. Alright, enough of this mumbo jumbo. Bitcoin sitting at $400 million a coin. We did it, folks. Bitcoin's at $400 million. Sell it all, buy gold. Not financial advice. It's not at $400 million. It is at $41,640. It's okay. Bitcoin's price goes up, it goes down. Oh! Goes up, it goes down. This is what happens. It's okay. Everything's fine. The fundamentals haven't changed. Good people. We're good. Just hold and chill. It's all you gotta do. Alright, that does it. Enough from me. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all laughed, whether it be at me or it's something I said, it's something my goofy butt said, because I am indeed goofy. And yeah, hope y'all come back for another episode. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.